Hey everyone, it is Charity Oland at Fountain Mortgage, and I am here with Future Proof today. It is the beginning of October, which is my favorite time of year. The fall, the color change, the perfect weather. We've been spending all of our time outside, but what October also brings is the very first week of fourth quarter every year. So, fourth quarter is what I want to talk about today. This is specifically aimed at real estate agents, but anyone in any small business can use these tips to really set yourself up for success. So again, I said it's my favorite time of year for all of the fall fun and weather, but it's also my favorite time of year in business because you're really starting to see those goals that you set back at the end of the previous year or the beginning of this year, where those are taking you. And most importantly, for those that plan in the fourth quarter, you have such a huge jump on your competition when they get together in January to start talking about their strategic plans and their goal setting for the year. You've already hit the ground running, so you're way ahead of the pack. Competition is down a little bit. A lot of real estate agents still treat the industry like feast or famine. They plan on making all their money in the spring and summer, and then they just kind of take the rest of the year off. So that's your opportunity. As you pull into your office, you might be the only car there, especially fourth quarter combined with a global pandemic, but this is your time to take advantage of those people that aren't being contacted, of those expired listings that might have been a little bit overpriced in the spring and summer. Now they might be more willing to listen to your advice and perspective. And most importantly, the contacts and the relationships that you create now in the fourth quarter, in the next 100 days, 90 days, are going to be those relationships that set you up for success right after the holidays. Those are the people that are going to be wanting to find their professional team and get their ducks in a row for either listing or buying after the holidays. So get that momentum going in these last 90 days. So with that, let's start right off with our first of our 5 things today, which is number 1, set 2 goals. You're going to put these up. I would like to put them up on a big board in my office, 2 boards right next to each other. Goal number 1 is how you want to finish the year. And goal number 2 is how you want to start the year. You want to get that momentum going. So on that first board, think about the past year that you've had. If it wasn't your best year ever, it's kind of hard to put big lofty goals up there, but maybe set some activity goals for the fourth quarter. How many open houses do you want to host? How many days will you commit to being on the phone prospecting? How many networking meetings will you attend? How many past clients will you stop by with a gift or call them to see how they're doing? And then in the fourth quarter, how many closed transactions do you want? Or what kind of GCI are you targeting? You want to be very clear on what your goal is for these last 90 days so that you already have that momentum to move forward in that fourth quarter. So that's board number 1, fourth quarter goals. Board number 2, first quarter goals for next year. On January 1st, I want to have already set how many number of pending transactions. How many buyers do you want to have in your pipeline ready to pounce in the first quarter? How many listing opportunities, or those that you've called over the holidays who said that they wanted to wait, would be ready after December? So a good goal is to get maybe 10 or 15 of those in line for your kickoff. So step number 2, moving on to step number 2 for your 10 best ways to set yourself up in the fourth quarter. We're going to double down on what is working. So step 2 is to double down on what's working. Take a look at every single transaction that you had in the year 2020 and identify where those came from. How did that business come to you? And look at, if it was open houses, then double down on that. If you did 2 open houses a month in 2020, maybe do 2 a week in 2021. Think about calling past clients. If you were doing prospecting calls or reaching out to past clients, 1 day a week, maybe consider doing that 3 times a week. If you got your business from email marketing or from Zillow or social media, double down on those efforts. You already see what's working for you and where your past clients came from. So just double down and make that even stronger for the next year. Moving on to step 3 for your best fourth quarter. What we want to do in step 3 is create trust and relevancy. You need to remind people, especially this year when we've all been locked up at home, that you still exist and that you're out there. And how do you do that? And that's by thinking about a fourth quarter event. Now, I know a lot of people say fourth quarter and it's an event and it's pandemic, and how do I make that happen? We did another video on socially distant, responsible events, but there are tons of ideas. Holiday pictures for families. Have them stop by a Christmas tree farm where you've rented some space and set up a photographer for them. Maybe doing pet photos for their Christmas cards. And you're not just doing this for referrals. Again, you're looking to build that trust and that long-term relationship, that top of mind awareness. And the problem with events, everyone always tells me, is what if no one shows up? That's always a fear. But the thing about events that I have learned is that first you have to invite them, then you have to invite them again and again, and you need to call and call and call, and they will come. You just need to remind them. So let's see any other. Oh, gingerbread decorating. I had that down in my notes here. This is a good pop-by idea. If you don't want to host an event, you could drop off a gingerbread kit on your client's front porch, especially if they have kids. Ask them to put that gingerbread house together and decorate it, and then post it on social media and tag you, and then give a prize out for someone. So create that trust and relevancy for step number 3. Think about a fourth quarter event, especially when so many people haven't been having those lately. So you will stand out from the crowd. Number 4, and I think I'm going to do a whole video later on just this subject, but this is one of the most important things you can do to set yourself up for success. And it's one of the things, having worked with hundreds of real estate agents, that I see not many agents doing effectively. So if you want to get a competitive edge, here's your secret tip. It is reviews. Get your client reviews updated. Reach out, create a system in the fourth quarter for following up with clients who you've closed in the past or who you've closed recently, so that every single person that works with you, considering they had a positive experience, posts a review. The most important thing when people are looking at your social cred, is what we call this, is your social proof, is recent reviews. So if you've had reviews, but the last one is a year ago, 3 years ago, think about if you were Googling a doctor and his last review was 3 years ago, but another doctor had several reviews from the last several months. We find that most people find reviews only relevant if they're within the last 90 days. So think about those people that you've worked with in the last 90 days. Think about your strong relationships. Offer a little reward or an incentive possibly to get people to write a review for you. It doesn't matter where it goes. We push most of ours to Google because I think we all know that we all use Google about 50 times a day, so it's the most visible and it'll help your rankings. But realtors are good to go to Zillow, Yelp, Facebook, and again, think of a system. At Fountain Mortgage, what we do is we send out a review request about 4 days after they close on their loan. We know that usually they're closing it towards the end of the week, maybe moving over the weekend, so it gets a little more settled down that next week, and we reach out and ask them to complete a review. We make it very easy by providing a link to where we want them to review us. And then we have an automated system. You can buy this software. If you need to a resource, reach out to me, but it will remind them in another week of the review, and it will remind them one more time at 30 days. So we ask 3 times, but again, we're not having to remember to do that. Our automated software is doing it. And we grew in just, 3 years from 0 Google reviews to, we just rounded the corner on, I think we're at 280 right now. So that has really helped our business. We hear from people all the time that they were researching lenders, and we just had by far the most and best reviews. So step number 4 for your fourth quarter, set up a review process. Okay, we are at the last one for today. This is a marketing audit. Step number 5, perform a marketing audit. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? Sounds like some kind of medical procedure, but what is a marketing audit? That is where you want to take a full 360 view of everything that is representing your business that's out there in the world. This is everything from your website to your business cards, to your social media pages, to brochures or flyers you might have out there. And you want listing presentations. Let's see, what else did I write down here? Your headshot. What you want to do is put all these things in front of you, or look at them and see, are they presenting a message of conformity and clarity? Is your brand really consistent? Does all of your materials work together to create a consistent message? Do you have your value proposition in there? Do people know what sets you apart from your competition when they're working with you? So do a marketing audit. Look at even your email signature. All of these things need to make sure that they are all in alignment. I can't tell you how many times that our team has been trying to reach a realtor, which should be one of the easiest things in the world to do. But they might have changed companies, their phone number has changed, their email address is outdated, and it's sometimes really harder than you think to get a hold of you. So do an audit on yourself. Have a friend or a family member try to find you. Ask what kind of things they found when they Googled you. Sometimes if you do this for yourself, you'll get good results, but it'll look a little bit different for someone who's never visited your site before. So are you easy to find? Does your message come through clearly? Do all of your colors work together? Is your branding up to date? Just do a full audit of that, and then spend that fourth quarter, some of those quiet days, put an hour on your calendar each week to make sure that your marketing audit is complete and that everything is looking great. Next time, we'll do the last 5 ways that you can really have the strongest fourth quarter that you have ever had. And we'll round out our list of 10. Again, if you want to watch the full class that we did on this, it's about 42 minutes long, and it is either at the link below if we can get that working, or Google Fountain Mortgage Future Proof Best Fourth Quarter Ever. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next week. And as always, stay safe, and I hope to see you soon.